in a hot tub with Bae. Hey guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah.
Melanated!
Welcome to another episode of Hate Watch The Bachelorette with me. I don't even know that I can really call it hate watching anymore because I absolutely love it. I have to just acknowledge that I fell into the trap of The Bachelorette. I can't say that I will watch it next season because I really require some like ethnicity diversity, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know that this series does that, but hopefully after this season it will. They are in Hilton Head Island, South Carolina, I believe, or one of the Carolinas. This episode started off with my biggest frustration of this entire season and this entire episode really is the face-off between Kenny and Lee. Kenny's desire to continuously have conversation with Lee about Lee's behavior towards Kenny. Like, Kenny needs to stop taking the bait and I can't explain it enough. It is really bothering me. He is taking it so far to make some very misogynistic comments. I think that comment about, I'm gonna put my balls on your chin because you're a bitch, like say that on national television, like, Kenny, that is like disgusting. I don't like that. I don't like that misogyny. It's just really disgusting to me. Brian and Rachel go on this boat. They're having like a little one-on-one. And I was like, oh, they're so in love. And then when I thought about it, I stopped and realized that they're on a very cute boat with, I'm sure, tons of lighting around them and at least 2 cameras watching them make out. I could never be on this show, you guys. I could never be on this show. It just is so cringeworthy. But I mean, Rachel is a champ. Rachel is doing it. I feel that she is really trying hard to be as authentic as possible, and I can 100% dig that. But just the scenarios, girl. Like, I feel like if I were the Bachelorette, I would like have a pajama day. Like, one of the dates would be like us just chilling in the house, like making popcorn, watching a movie, so that I can chill. Because all this stage stuff is like really too much. Some of it is absolutely fun. Like, I thought the date with her and Jack, where they went shucking and whatevering, I thought that's a fun new experience that they got to experience together. And I was a little sad that she had to do it with Jack because he is like the worst. So like, yeah, he's just like weird. He's just weird. Like, he made some comment at the beginning of the day about, oh, these houses are haunted. And she's like, why? Did you see something? And he was like, no. He's like, I just think that these houses are haunted. And I'm just like, because they look like plantation houses. Yeah, and so she didn't want to kiss him. And it was very apparent. Like, she was not feeling him. He's got this weird like look, and I took a picture of it. He was doing it during his confessional, and I was just like, his personality in a picture is different than his personality in real life. And she sent him home, and I was happy that she sent him home as fast as she did because, like, she wasn't feeling Fred, she sent him home. She wasn't feeling Jack, she sent him home. And I haven't been feeling Jack since the beginning. It was something about him that I was just like, he kept saying that everything was surprising. Like, oh, I was so surprised. And it just makes you feel that, like, why are you surprised? Like, you applied to be on The Bachelorette. I'm a black woman. This is, like, groundbreaking. And, like, you're surprised that we got along so well? Like, what did you think? I would have been a little offended. So then we move forward. Will has a conversation with Lee. Will made a comment, and the comment was, this topic frustrates me because I feel like Will was making excuses for Lee. They're out on the balcony having a conversation, and Will is, for whatever reason, I don't even know why he's reaching out to Lee in this manner. It's clear that Lee is a racist. Maybe it's not clear to him, but like, whatever. And they have this conversation where Will very eloquently explains aggressive and how like putting that adjective on a black man is something that has been used against black men for their entire history in these United States. I thought it was good that he explained it, but then when Lee said the race card and Will didn't automatically just get up and leave, that's when I was like, no, Will, you're pandering, and I don't like, you're gonna teach this poor Southern Tennessee white boy, like, what microaggressions are, and I'm just like, no. Will, don't let him say play the race card. He's like, well, I don't think he meant to play the race card. What? I'm sorry, so you're acknowledging that there is a race card and then you're going to explain it to delicate flower Lee that how calling a black man aggressive is a trigger word? No. If Lee isn't up on the current social justice issues, then he needs to go. And it's clear. And one of you guys actually made a comment below saying that you were disgusted with ABC for putting an obvious racist on the show. And I absolutely agree with you. I didn't even think about it like that, but it is really, really disgusting that they would use him and keep him on the show to continue to advocate and push these microaggressions and have him be the bad guy in a way that is not even really any kind of redeeming quality, but he's speaking for this minority or this group of white people who are like, yeah, don't pull the race card. I'm just like, what race card? Shit happens to black people because they're black. Okay, so then this is really exciting. Like, this is like why I would want to be on any kind of reality show, is to be able to travel. They go to Oslo, Norway. Let me tell you, I would never go to Oslo, Norway with just on vacation. Like, it looks so beautiful, but cold AF. You know what I'm saying? Like, the fact that they got to go there was really exciting. I was excited for them. And then she had her first date with Brian, and let everyone know that she really loves Brian, because, like, she doesn't need any more dates with Brian, right? She needs to go on dates with other people. She went with Brian. And they repelled, one of those, off of this, like, building that looked crazy, this ski slope building. And it was so cute. Like, he kissed her on the way down. He was being really supportive. He wasn't like, oh, I'm so scared, you know. He was like, okay, I'll help you. And they get all the way down, and they just had a really good time. I mean, obviously there were some staged things that were a little annoying about this date, but I really, really, really enjoyed watching them do this, and I really do like Brian, and I think that it was an absolute good choice to give him the rose, because I think he's gonna go all the way. Rachel is continuously doubting Brian, and at this point, I'm just like, shit or get off the pot. Like, I get that he's too good to be true, but there's something about him being 37 and having gone through things, and when people say, like, how are you 37 and you're still single? What's wrong with you? I feel like I don't like that, because I'm 34 and still single, and like, it makes me feel that you're putting the onus on what's wrong with the person who isn't in a relationship, when I know tons of shitty people who are in relationships. So it has really nothing to do with if you're unless you're like a psychopath. But even then, psychopaths stay in relationships because they're good at manipulation. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way, which is a really stupid thing, but I felt like it feeds into this idea that, like, if we're not in a relationship, that something is wrong with us, and I don't think that that is healthy. So it's just a sore spot in my heart. Like, I'm like, that whole, like, why are you single thing is like, I don't know why I'm single. If I could figure that out, I would. Or, you know, I'm single because I don't want to be in a shitty relationship. Like, I would rather be by myself than be with somebody who doesn't make me happy or who causes me grief. But that being said, I really like her and Brian. Then they had this little conversation between Anthony and Eric, which is why I do not like Eric. He made some comment about how she only goes on one-on-ones with white guys. She doesn't go on the one-on-ones with brothers. And I'm just like, you need to go. And I think Anthony handled it really well with explaining it. Like, it's not about race, it's about who she gets along with. When you're open to all races and there's more of a certain race than another race, you're going to see more of the other. And it wouldn't be right for her to go on a bunch of one-on-ones with all the black dudes to see how she thinks, what she thinks of them. She's what, so that she can kick them out faster? Like, no, I think she wants to give the black guys a chance to stay on the show longer. So she keeps giving them roses so that she can make the decision based on chemistry. That I don't like that he called that into question, and it makes me want to send him home, because I think it's feeding into this idea that all black people are a monolith. It's feeding into shaming black women for dating outside their race. It feeds into a lot of things that I think that black men do to black women, or black people do to each other when it comes to interracial dating, and it doesn't need to come within. So it doesn't need to come from within, right? It doesn't need to come from within. Like, we all understand the pressure that's happening in this season, and for Eric to call it out. I mean, I know it's a concern for some black people out there who probably watch the show, and they've probably noticed that, but I don't think that's worth mentioning in a way that makes it seem like, oh, she's choosing the white guys and not the black guys, and oh, maybe she's more into white guys than she is to black guys. Like, here's the deal. If she wasn't into black guys, I think she would have told the producers that she wasn't into black guys, or she would have kicked all the black guys off a lot earlier. And I don't think that that's fair, and I was right. So those of you who were like, I like Eric, I was right. No, he needs to go. Eric and Kim need to go. They're right for someone, but they're not right for her. They're not right for me, so they need to go. They play this game called handball, which I guess is a European sport. It's like a mixture between football, basketball, and some other sport. All the guys are in these like amazing little outfits, which I was here for those outfits, girl. I was here for it. For some reason, Dean decided to wear his jockstrap on the outside. Okay. It was cute. While they were playing, she was on the team with Peter. They were on the red team, and Peter just kept picking her up and like tossing her. And I was like, yes, Peter. Yes. We haven't seen you since episode 1 or 2 or something. We haven't seen Peter in a long time. Peter is bae. You know, Will really stood out. And Will stood out for me too. I mean, he upset me earlier, but I was like, you know, maybe I don't like to judge Black people for where they're at with dealing with racism and microaggressions in the United States. And some people want to placate and make excuses for white people, and some people want to fight, and some people are somewhere in the middle. So I'm not going to disregard Will, but I did not like that comment. I did like the way he interacted with her. I loved his one-on-one with her. He was very open. He was very honest about his heartbreak. And it was actually really good. And he got a rose. And I thought he deserved the rose. And Peter was a little salty that he didn't get the rose because Peter and Rachel apparently had like a 3.5-hour one-on-one. And they got into the hot tub and they had conversation. And it was just so nice. And you know, again, I love Peter, right? So I wanted her to have that time with Peter. And he was a little bummed that he didn't get the rose. I'm like, Peter, you got a 3.5-hour date. You guys like went from the couch to the balcony into the hot tub, had like a real cute makeout session. Like, chill, you're good, bruh. You good. Alex had a little one-on-one with her where he read a note, or that's something that he wrote out. And I thought that was sweet too, because he really wanted to get his thoughts organized to be able to have that conversation with her. And I thought that showed a lot of, you know, preparation, and that he just wanted to say what he wanted to say and wanted to say it right. And I appreciate that. Josiah. Now, Rachel's starting to see right through Josiah. Josiah just says the things that he thinks people want to hear, or he thinks women want to hear. And I don't think that he's being vulnerable at all. I feel like he got a lot of confidence, which is great. But I think he needs, I told you about his energy. I think he needs a woman who doesn't have much going on in her life, because he can be overwhelming. He can have a little bit too much bravado. And I think he needs to be with somebody who's like just kind of simple and like wants to let him shine and wants to go along with what he wants to do and wants to let him talk and be the one to whatever, because he kept on talking over her and he kept trying to really state his point. And then even after he left it, like he couldn't even see that she had like backed up from him and wasn't leaning in towards him. He couldn't even read her body language. He didn't pick up on that. He left the one-on-one with her and went to the group and said, yeah, I think I killed it. I did a good job. And I'm like, no, you didn't. Like, we all watched it. We watched her body language. We saw her facial expressions. We heard you talk over her. This is not the girl for you. On paper, she's what you want, but in actuality, you need somebody who like. So then, the very end, this is the part that just like, I'm just over this whole scenario and I wish she would send both Kenny and Lee home. I don't know why she kept Lee this time. Maybe the producers made her keep him, but they had the 2-on-1 with Rachel. They got in a helicopter. The whole date was awkward. She was so awkward with them, the way she's not like with anyone else. Kenny started off really good, just talking about her being somebody that he would want around his daughter. He also had like a little Skype time with his daughter, which I thought was very cute. He was over there boohooing, and girl was like, oh, Dad, you'll be fine. Bye. Have fun on your date. So that started out really good, but he had to bring up Lee. He had to bring up Lee. Ugh. And then she had a one-on-one with Lee, and Lee just out the gate unabashedly started talking about Kenny, saying he was aggressive and that he had a dark side and that, you know, he keeps it at bay, but when he drinks, it comes out. He's claimed that he pulled him out of the car or out of the van, that he told him he was going to shit in his boots. And like, I just wish he could kick them out right now and send them both home. And it seems like there's going to be some drama in the next episode, and I'm here for all of it. That's my recap for the end of this episode. I'm not going to give you my top 4 until we see tomorrow's episode. But yeah, I'm over Kenny and Lee, and I need them both to go home. Iggy went home. I'm so happy Iggy went home. And some other guy who tickles her, who I barely even knew, went home. I'm waiting for Adam to go home too, because she hasn't had a one-on-one with him. He's kind of boring. Matt too. Like, Matt, I'm just kind of like, are you going to like shave your head or no? Like, can you just get rid of because you have just such little hair that you either need to do Rogaine or you're going to have to just cut it off. And you might as well just go bald now, you know? All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic day. Bye.